Granddad! Flintstones?
I know what you're thinking. Just because Mario can don some caveman-era attire in Super Mario Odyssey doesn't mean Mario's legacy as a caveman is true. Well, hold on just a second there, because this video actually doesn't really have anything to do with Super Mario Odyssey. The fact that this prehistoric land exists is awesome, and it is certainly a beautiful place, but in the same vein, it's kind of empty. No residents can be seen through its magnificent lands. Giant dinosaurs can be found here, and there's a spiffy caveman outfit to be acquired, but what I want to talk about isn't within this game. Still, before branching out, what I find interesting is that the caveman outfit in this game is more than likely inspired by an outfit Mario wore in an earlier adventure. An adventure that no one else has really traced this outfit back to. Most people connected the dots with the outfits in Odyssey to earlier games, advertisements, and forms of media they referenced. However, the caveman outfit was sort of just left there. But it does come from a certain peculiar adventure from the distant past of Mario. You'd be forgiven if you never heard about it. Mainly because, once again, it wasn't in English. It wasn't even in Japanese. Unless you lived in Germany, you would have missed this adventure altogether. It's time once again to dive back into the world of Club Nintendo, the German version of Nintendo Power. A big thank you to Cryomancer and PPA from OpenTrain for providing the editing, cleaning, and translation of these comics. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive into Super Mario Lost in Time. The year is 1993. Our story starts with Mario opening his door as a package is delivered to his home. Mario, of course, thinks a loyal fan must have sent him a gift, but in reality, it was just Dr. Wily from Mega Man sealing his fate. I have no idea why he has beef with Mario, but apparently he wanted control of the city. Mario opens this devious package, which contains an alarm clock, and is sucked into a time vortex, never to be seen again. The end. Thanks for tuning in to this time voyage through the Mario universe. Why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? Oh, right. I got ahead of myself. Mario is catapulted into the distant past, where he lands and conveniently rolls across the back of a dinosaur, until he faceplants into the ground. Despite riding around on Yoshi and fighting Bowser, Mario freaks out at the sight of a dinosaur before reclaiming his composure. He looks around trying to figure out where he is, but then he suddenly spots Joe and Mac. Gonna stop this for a second real quick to explain. Joe and Mac were characters from a self-titled Super Nintendo, NES, and Genesis game. It was on the Game Boy and other mediums as well. You basically played as two cavemen who powered through prehistoric levels trying to save kidnapped members of your tribe from other cavemen. Fast forward back to the comic, and Mario tries to communicate with them. aka loses his mind, and then Mac strikes Mario upside the head. You can tell it's a hard blow because even Mario's text bubbles cracked. After this hit, Mario breaks the fourth wall and asks the artist directly why all this is happening, and then claims that he's a bird and can fly. On the next page, Mario recovers from his concussion and heads into a local burger establishment. The front counter clerk can speak English perfectly, unlike Joe and Mac, and Mario orders the biggest burger they have. He trades his hat for the burger without even giving it a second thought, and then breaks the fourth wall again, questioning the clerk if he's ever been in Club Nintendo before. His face looks familiar from the magazine. This makes me wonder if this clerk was modeled after a staff member or fellow artist. It makes sense since he's wearing glasses in the Stone Age. Mario then steps outside, declines a ride from a Yoshi taxi, which is just Yoshi holding a wheel, and then heads over to an establishment called Men's Furs. And Granddad is born. Of course, with Mario and his new threads, he immediately gets swarmed by all the ladies in the area, only to find out they were actually screaming in fear because a T-Rex was following them. Mario flips out, stumbles, and locates a fire flower just in time to defeat the dinosaur. Interesting enough, one single fireball was enough to bring down this tyrant. Upon collapsing, the dinosaur spits out the time-traveling alarm clock, and Granddad Mario is once again sucked into the void. In the Part 2 follow-up comic, Mario is spit out into another time period, and his hat lands upon his head, finishing the Granddad bootleg look. However, this pinnacle moment in Mario lore is interrupted as the cast of The Lost Vikings show up, which was another SNES title similar to Joe and Mac. They quickly start messing with the alarm clock as Mario flips out. He's too late though, as the Vikings disappear into thin air. Yet, the wives of the Vikings witnessed it all. They quickly capture Mario and blame him for the disappearance of the Vikings. Meanwhile, the Vikings appear in present-day New York City. People flee in fear from the Vikings who just mysteriously appeared, and police officers surround them. Back in the past, Mario is spending time doing chores like washing dishes and splitting logs. It wouldn't be long before the Vikings travel back in time though, as when they're in court and the alarm clock is confiscated, they're sent backwards in time. Apparently, between these panels in the comic, a rival Viking gang had started attacking the town Mario was in. The 3 strongest warriors were missing though, so Mario stepped up to the challenge after seizing a super mushroom. He hulks out new Super Mario Bros. Style and defeats all the enemy Vikings. But while people are celebrating, the lost Vikings reappear and throw a Hail Mary from across the field. The alarm clock strikes Mario in the head, and he is sent into the far, far future. Upon the planet Hazendazen, which I have no idea how to pronounce, so forgive me, 2 aliens are conversing, who are also named Hazen and Dazen. They lack a trophy for their intergalactic Olympian Games. And just then, the alarm clock smashes into the ground, and they believe it is a gift from the heavens. Mario crash lands shortly after, and startles a local before freaking out about where the alarm clock went. Upon seeing it, he tries to grab it, but is blocked from doing so. The man from before introduces himself as Clausen, and says that Mario must compete in their games in order to win the clock back. Fast forward to the Olympic Space Games. I swear, this comic foreshadowed a lot for the Mario franchise. Mario competing in every Olympic game. Super Mario Galaxy. Plock? Is that a Battletoad? What is going on here? Side note, Mario's ski outfit would have been a dope costume for Mario Odyssey. Nintendo, if you're thinking about DLC, you know where my costume votes are. Anyways, it's neck and neck in the final event. Plock vs Mario in an ice skating race, and the audience is on the edge of their seat. Wait, is that the Star Fox crew? Fox has certainly seen better days. Mario smashes the Y button vigorously, and snatches up the alarm clock. Just before he gets a victory kiss, he is whisked away in time. And now we come to the conclusion of this granddad adventure. Mario, for some reason, reclaims his caveman clothes during this last time travel stunt. Luckily, Mario doesn't just flat out die from this fall. Something pretty interesting though, is that this is Mario's house that we can see right here. He apparently lives on a street called Mushroom Alley 13. He races into his house only to see Yoshi, or should I say precursor Boshi, reclining in the living room. Mario questions his sanity, but then instantly worries that he's in the wrong time again. But after checking the newspaper and the TV show Wheel of Misfortune, he realizes that bad deeds are being celebrated. Dr. Wily had taken over the world, and Mario just now realizes it was Dr. Wily who had delivered the alarm clock. Mario steps outside and is almost hit by a cactus, and his neighbor apologizes and tells him she won't miss next time. The world's morals have been inverted. Mario realizes he needs a disguise to get into Wily's fortress though, so he rushes to a shop and buys the most evil disguise, a Wario mask and a shirt that literally says, "I am evil." Mario is able to make it into the castle, but he is stopped by an evil Princess Toadstool dressed in black. Guards quickly surround Mario, who has now lost his mask, and he is strapped to a chair. Before Dr. Wily has a chance to operate though, the alarm clock goes off once again, and Mario wakes up in his bed. It was all a dream. He then obliterates the alarm clock with his bedside mallet, as Luigi references a popular German TV show. And with that, our grand adventure comes to a close. Now the interesting part about all of this is, despite being a dream, Dr. Wily and Mega Man characters are in other comics that aren't dreams. So even if the concepts of these comics are rooted from dreams, they are still present in the Mario universe. But here's the ultimate question I want to know. Was there any correlation between the 1992 Seven Granddad hack of the Fleenstones, the rescue of Dino and Hoppy, and the inspiration of the caveman element of this comic? My immediate thought is, of course, no. But the fact that a Nintendo comic featured the same Mario setup, Flintstones-like clothing with Mario's hat, only a year or perhaps even months after Seven Granddad's supposed release, has me holding on to a flicker of hope. I highly doubt it's the case, because it took us this long to even discover Seven Granddad for the most part. But one can dream. But now that I dumped that on all of you, I'd of course love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Super Mario Odyssey's caveman outfit was inspired from this comic? What was your whole take on this comic in general? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, thanks for tuning into this time voyage through the Mario universe. Why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all my videos. Thanks for watching, guys and gals, and until my next video, cheers.